Welcome to Scary Stories with Vic. Hi, I'm Vic, a huge horror fan. It's really hard to find stuff that scare me. So, I'm going to scare you guys instead. We're going to read some stories off Reddit, and then eventually I hope you guys can send me in your true scary stories to see if you can actually scare me. Because I'm that person that can watch a scary story or a scary movie peacefully by myself and go straight to sleep. So, good luck. I found the story on Reddit. Jenny has always been afraid of the dark. She had lost her sight at a young age, and the world had always been a scary place for her. But she had learned to cope, and she had always felt safe as long as she was with her husband. He was her rock, her guide, and she trusted him with all her heart. So when he went away on a business trip, leaving her alone in the house, Jenny was terrified. She had never been alone before, and the thought of it filled her with dread. But she knew that she had to be strong. She was a grown woman. She couldn't let her fears get the best of her. So she went about her day, doing all the things she normally did. She cooked meals, cleaned the house, and listened to her audiobooks. And every night, when she went to bed, she cuddled up next to her husband's pillow, pretending that he was there with her. It was strange and unsettling routine, but it gave Jenny comfort. She knew that she was safe, and that was all that mattered. But one night, as she lay in bed, something changed. Jenny felt a presence in the room, a sense of unease that she couldn't shake. She tried to ignore it, telling herself it was just her imagination. But as the minutes ticked by, the feeling grew stronger. Jenny couldn't take it anymore. She reached out and touched her husband's pillow, hoping to feel his familiar warmth. But instead of the soft cotton she expected, she felt something cold and clammy. She recoiled in horror, her heart racing as she realized that she wasn't alone. There was something in the room with her, something evil and malevolent. She could feel its presence, its breath on her neck, and she knew she had to get out. She scrambled out of bed and ran for the door, her hands outstretched as she tried to find her way. She could hear the thing behind her, its footsteps pounding the floor as it followed her. She stumbled and fell, her hands scraping the floor as she tried to crawl away. She could feel the thing closing in, its hot breath on her neck as it prepared to strike. Just when she thought it was all over, she heard a voice in the darkness. It was her husband. His voice was full of concern as he called out to her, "Jenny! Jenny!" Jenny's heart soared with hope. She struggled to her feet and ran towards the sound of his voice, her hands outstretched as she tried to find him. But as she drew closer, she realized that something was wrong. The voice was different, deeper, and more sinister. It was the monster, mimicking her husband's voice in order to lure her in. Jenny froze in terror, her mind racing as she tried to think of a way out. She couldn't let the monster win, not after everything she had been through. She turned and ran, her feet pounding the floor as she fought to escape. She could hear the monster behind her, its footsteps growing louder and louder as it closed in. She didn't know how much longer she could keep running, but she knew that she had to try. She had to survive, no matter what. But it was too late. The monster was too fast. And before Jenny knew what was happening, it was on top of her. She screamed as it tore into her flesh, its razor-sharp claws slicing through her skin. She fought with all her might, but it was no use. The monster was too strong, and Jenny knew that she was doomed. She closed her eyes, accepting her fate as the monster's claws dug into her flesh. That was spooky. That was spooky. What do you guys rate that? I'm going to give that a 4 out of 10 on the spooky scale. Like I said, there's stuff that just doesn't really scare me. So if you have your own scary story you want to send it to me to try to scare me, it could be fiction, nonfiction, whatever, send it to my email. Let's see where your story lands on the scary meter.